Action right now. Blinds are at 2 and 400. No ante as of yet. The button is going to start on Jason Mercier. Noah Schwartz will be under the gun. He takes a look at Queen Jack suited. Kicks the party off with a raise to 1,000. 2.5 times the big blind. Mercier, also a South Florida native. Laying down to Jake Schindler, who's got a couple of fives. He's going to make the call from the small blind, and it looks like an ace-king for Dan Coleman, who didn't get the memo about just how warm it is here in South Florida, rocking the beanie, but it can get cold in casinos. And Dan is going to re-raise here to 4,500 total.
Now, we're not playing with antes, so players are going to tend to play a little bit tighter than they normally would. Dan, obviously, with the big hand, ace-king in the blind, looking to make it more expensive for both players to continue.
Noah makes the call.
I don't love this call by Noah. I think if he was offsuit, he wouldn't have considered it. Suited, I think it's okay, but not great.
And Jake certainly doesn't mind having Noah's money in there as well, since he's essentially set mining here.
Yeah, and he caps the action, so easy call for Jake.
Yep, 3 players to the flop, and that flop's got a 5 in it. That's going to mean music to Jake's ears as he checks it over to the field with top set.
Yeah, Jake staying in rhythm, letting the aggressor continue.
That, of course, being Dan Coleman. Action on him. He's got the wheel draw, needs a deuce to make the ace through 5 straight. He's also got a couple of overcards to the board.
Yeah, I think if I were Dan, the player I'd be most concerned with would be Jake, just naturally, because Jake did call Noah's early position raise from the small blind.
Coleman betting 7,500 into the pot of 13-5, getting Schwartz's Queen Jack into the muck, and now back over to Jake, who's got a decision.
Jake can credibly just call here. It'll allow him to protect some of his weaker hands, and it allows Dan to continue bluffing if he is bluffing.
That's right. Give him a little bit of rope potentially if he has air. Maybe let him hit an overpair of some sort. Oh, but that is the card you don't want to see if you're Jake Schindler. 4 to a straight on the board now. An ace or a 6 would mean his set of 5s would be beat. And knowing that, he checks it over to Dan, who's got the better hand now.
So Dan's made his straight, but at the same time, it's the lower end of the straight. I expect Dan to, if he does bet the turn here, to not bet the river.
It's a bet of 12,000.
I don't think he expects to get too much value from Jake's hand, but he decides to bet the turn here. Not a huge bet, but one that will help him define Jake's hand.
Less than a third of the pot, the number. Schindler making the call. And you know what he wants to see, a pair on the board. And there it is, a second 4 on the river. And now Schindler with the best hand.
Perfect card for Jake. He makes full house. And he's hoping Dan just pays him off with a straight here.
Jake, what's going on here?
Well, Jake betting out 37,500. No chance that he could have checked?
So sure, Jake definitely could have checked. I think Jake correctly understands that the majority of hands that Dan has here for value are aces. And since an ace is just the underside of the straight, and now that the board is paired, he was afraid that Dan was just going to check back if he checked. So now he just tries to get value from Dan's hand by leading out.
How do you feel about the bet size?
The bet size is, it's not huge, but it's a nice, healthy size, definitely looking to win a decent-sized pot. Now, if you're Dan, the only problem is that you just don't really beat many hands. Sure, Jake could have a hand like 2 7s, but besides that, there aren't just too many hands Jake would have called both the flop and the turn with and then let out that you can beat. So nice, disciplined fold there from Dan Coleman.
Play online poker for real cash and prizes at clubwpt.com. Sign up today for free using bonus code YT22 and get a free entry into a $5,000 guaranteed tournament.
Under the gun, youngest player at the table, just 24 years old, but his presence vibes much more veteran than that.
Yeah, he's been playing poker for a long time. He's played a lot of hands thanks to the internet.
Queen Jack for Dan. He makes it 4,600 to go, and it's over to Jason Mercier.
Interesting spot here for Jason. They're 5-handed, so even though Dan's raised technically in early position or under the gun, it's just 5-handed. And Jason's in the small blind, a notoriously tricky position to play. Honestly, with this hand, I could see Jason doing any of his options, folding, calling, or 3-betting.
Now he opts for the fold.
It's tough to really argue with whatever decision Jason ends up coming up with. He's a very thoughtful, very deliberate player, so him deciding to fold there should be instructive for players.
9-7 offsuit for Schindler. He'll defend.
And you see really the difference between the big blind and the small blind. Obviously, Jason's hand with ace-9 suited is so much stronger than Jake's hand with 9-7 off. But Jason ultimately decides to fold, and Jake really with an easy defend from the big blind, getting a better price, capping the action. These are very important differences between the two positions.
Flop comes Jack-9 tray, 9s for Jake, Jacks for Dan. Both players have checked, and now the turn puts a 7 out there, giving Schindler the best hand with 9s and 7s.
Yeah, so Dan playing a little bit tricky by checking back the top pair, good kicker. I think part of the reason for that is this type of board, when players check back, tend to be boards that players are giving up on a lot.
Jake bets 7,500.
So Jake obviously going for value after turning 2 pair, and Dan not going anywhere with the top pair.
Indeed, he makes the call. Pot swells to 26,700, and here comes the river. Oh, it's a queen, and now Coleman has the best hand once more.
Coleman had the best hand on the flop. It switched to Jake on the turn, and now back to Dan on the river. And remember, both players now have 2 pairs, so both players are confident that their hand is best. The real question will be, what does Dan do when faced with a river bet from Jake? We saw earlier that when Dan had river to flush, he just called a bet from Noah. So Dan is a little bit hesitant to try to go for thin value on against river bets.
15,100 is the bet that Dan is faced with.
It's a good-sized bet from Jake, but not huge. I wouldn't be surprised if Jake had a straight or, some sort of potentially better hand than Queen Jack if he would bet bigger.
So the bet sizing perhaps tipping Dan off. And Coleman calls the 15,100, and he will take the pot with queens and jacks. Nice way to cap off the evening for Dan.
Yeah, nice sized pot there for Dan Coleman.
He's either great actors or they truly are calm. But I don't doubt that they truly are calm because these guys are courageous, high-stakes gamblers. They're under this kind of pressure all the time. They look calm and ready to take down $1 million. It's going to be very interesting.
Okay, we have word that cards are about to go back into the air, so let's get down to the table.
Well, there you see the chip count. David Doc Sands out in front, a little over 1.8 million. Jim Courtney in second with 1.3. That's what they're playing for. The winner going to take home over $1 million. The guys that finish in 4th and 5th, however, get 0 zippity-doo-dah.
All right, to the felt we go. Andy's at 3,000, blinds at 12 and 24. Couple folds around to the real estate man. 68-year-old Jim Courtney not going to play.
So it's a battle of the blinds here. Steve Silverman, youngest player at the table, 24-year-old pro out of Rockville, Maryland. He's going to limp in and call in the small blind.
And Dan Perper, who's an equity options trader out of Highland Park, Illinois. He's also content to see a flop with a 7-6. Look at this flop, 3 of a kind there for Steven, and he's going to check it.
Well, just a beautiful flop for Steven, but an 8 on the turn. What? This gives Daniel Perper a straight. Can you believe it? Steve Silverman thought he was slow playing, and now he could be put in the ringer and out to dry.
Silverman's going to bet 40,000. Perper can't believe his luck, hitting the straight on the turn. He's going to re-raise. Goes to 100,000.
Well, the slow playing on the flop has stalled now. It is bet and raised here, and Steve Silverman just can't believe that 3 5s are beat in this spot. He knows his opponent doesn't have 2 9s in the hole or 2 8s in the hole. He'd raise pre-flop.
Well, he's going to make this call. I hope his hand gets better. And it does, as an 8 hits on the river. Full house for Steven.
Well, he is reaching for some chips. He's still not overly confident, though.
No.
He's a little fearful his opponent could possibly have 8s full, but now he knows he's got the best hand when his opponent goes into the deep side. And now he's saying, please call me.
Yep, 115,000. But sometimes those deep sides, the guy puts on a Hollywood act and re-raises you, but not the case this time. Dan Perper with a curiosity call.
And you see Daniel shaking his head there in sadness. He's saying, what happened here? I had a straight on the turn and got beat on the river. The equity options trader got optioned right out of that pot.
Yep, good things for Steven Silverman, 24-year-old who started out playing poker online and now playing against the big boys face to face. Anything can happen, and it is here at the bike here tonight. On we go, Pesh this time with King Jack.
I'm getting out raising chips.
Makes it 250 total.
250.
Into Pat's pair of 10s.
Make it 850.
Wow.
Well, he raised it up to 850,000, a healthy raise.
Benjamin gets out of their way, and now Todd looks down at an ace-queen.
Well, do you want to get involved with this hand after a raise and a re-raise?
All in.
And he is just going to shove all in.
Well, he just got lucky the last spot to double up, so he's going to press his luck here. See if he can win back-to-back pots.
Pull in 850.
One down, but Pat, with the tens, it's only an additional 1.6.
Almost 100% we're going to see something happen here, guys, just so you know.
You would think the chips would already be in, but...
Yeah, that pretty much means he's calling for sure.
If I win this pot, the place is going to get drinks. You do know that, right?
Ultimate bartender.
I'm holding pocket tens.
There you go.
I'm holding tens.
Well, he's made the call, so we're going to have a race here. The 2 overcards for Todd, the 2 tens for Pat. Let's see who gets lucky and wins the race.
Can I win a coin flip? Let's see.
Yeah. Todd has not been that lucky with the cards tonight so far. He's hung around. Can he get lucky on this flop? Oh, he does so!
Queen right on the flop. Again, Todd getting lucky when he's all in. Wow. He won with a jack-9 against an ace-9 to stay alive. Now, so far, he's well out in front in this race.
Pat looking disillusioned here.
Could come diamond, diamond, or Pat could win the pot.
Turn card, 5 of clubs.
Now we're down to 2 outs.
No 10, and I'll buy drinks the rest of the night.
I bet you will.
I'm going to steal your fans.
Looking very happy and confident. This has to sweat a 2-outer to double up. Down to the river we go.
One time.
Yes!